So I came up with this idea. What if you could make an offsetting bet? Now the key here is, and I put an example here, that you want to have the odds close together. And here you've got the odds 1.8, 2.0. Many times you'll find this where, you know, the teams are relatively close. Remember, we're not trying to win. We're trying to recover as much of the 20 as possible as we can. Now you could just make a bet on a high-risk team. Like you could bet everything on this team to win, but the odds are not in your favor, and the betting is telling you that because the lower odds team is likely going to win, all things being equal. So by betting both sides, you can see here on the team that has the 2.0 or higher, you have to bet on this team. So you bet 50. The payout is the odds are 210, so the payout would be 105. You bet 60 on the other team. So the bottom line is, if this team wins, you are going to win how much money? Minus the other bet, you're actually going to lose $5. So not bad. You know, you can live with that, because remember, we're trying to have the 20 minus 5, you get to keep $15. By betting on the other team, which is your insurance bet, if the other team wins, and they should, because the odds are lower on the payout, so the lower payout team in probability will win. If that happens, you are going to lose $2. Again, it's not a problem, because we're not trying to actually win here. We're simply trying to take the money that's in restricted and put it back into your real account as much as possible. If you knew that someone had 20, would you be willing to give up 5 to get the 20? That's the basic idea. Now if you're a little bit skillful, you can sit down in Microsoft Excel and make up these files on your own. What you're going to notice here is, look down here, the point differential, keep it small. I like to add up the odds of both, divide by 2, and try to keep it around 1.90 to 1.95, 1.98 is even better. It's rare where you'll get the odds exactly the same. The idea here, 1.2, means you're going to bet more on the lower risk game, and you're going to bet less on the higher risk to balance out the odds. And you can just see, for example, I'll just change this number here and you'll be able to get an idea what happens. Let's say I bet 70 on the insurance team that is likely going to win, by the way. And you can see now that I could win here on this team, which is great, but this bet here, what happens? You could lose 15 out of the $20. Now remember, we're trying to, on this kind of a bet, get as much of the $20 as possible back out of restricted into our real account. What do I think about the no-lose bet? It's a great enticement, and it sort of reminds me of the cocaine guys. You know, they go and they hand out a bunch as a sample and they get people hooked, and then, you know, the rest is history. It's probably not a fair assessment, but it's probably not inaccurate also. Now another thing you might wonder is, why don't you just bet everything on the Team A to win? Well, for a couple of reasons. I did this once actually. I bet Ottawa to beat Florida because Ottawa's a better team, not been playing well, so they were due to play better, so I took a chance and it worked. $20 bet gave back a $46 payout. But the premise is, by betting it all on the higher payout team, the statistical odds are you're going to lose that bet. And that's why the money is telling you that the payout odds are going to be on the team that will likely to win, so those odds are going to be lower. So that's the rationale behind that. But if you have the patience to sit down and make this file, you really find it quite illuminating. What's the bottom line with all this? It's fun. Do not think that you're going to be profitable doing this. You may get a lucky streak that may go on for a little while, but in the end, gravity wins. And what I find is likely to happen with most people, let's assume that they're winning for a while and then they start losing. Well, remember, every time you lose, that hurts, because the loss is generally 4 to 5 times greater than the other payouts when you win. So people will take a bit of a risk hoping to make up their losses, and they'll get wiped out, and that will be the end of that, and they'll sit in the coffee shop and wonder what happened. Now one last thing, I'll just cover this quickly, and I hope there's going to be enough time in the video that I can include it. Remember, you have $20 in restricted, multiply by 5, so if you put that amount there, you have to bet $100 on this team. Now, what I do there is, as soon as I put the 100 there, then what I'll try and do is keep changing this amount right there. So for example, if I go to 140 on the insurance team bet, I can see that that's not going to work, because down here I'm going to lose 30 bucks in all probability, because this team should win on average. So I know that's too high. If I go to 80, you can see what's going to happen now is that if this team here wins, I'm going to lose $36 because of the higher bet on the high risk team. So even though I got a good payout, I'm losing all of this money here. So that's not going to help. So what we're trying to do is, you want to have, just to follow the mouse here, you want to have both of these numbers. If they're minus, that's fine. But -5, -6, -7, that's sort of your goal. So let's go back to 112 as an example. Now this is getting interesting, because here you're going to lose 10, here you're going to lose 2. It's getting better. Say 114, now it's 8 and 4, now it's getting good. So let's say 116. Now this is pretty good. Remember, you've got $20 in restricted. In 20 days you're going to lose it all. But here, no matter what happens, you're going to get back the bulk of that 20. So what's the simple rationale on a no-lose bet? Make sure that you have a good chance to win the no-lose bet, and that way you're not going to have this problem with money getting tied up in restricted. But this file here is a way to recover the bulk of that money, put it back into your real account, and give yourself another chance to make a better bet on the next cycle. Now you can see here again, this was a pretty optimum scenario. If I add that by $1 to 117, then it gets pretty good. Let's look down here to see if our statistics will back up what we're thinking in our data here. That adding up the 2, dividing by 2, 1.95, that's good. Remember, you want 1.9 to 1.99, or even if it comes out to be 2, that's cool, but that's not likely. The point differential was 0.30, which is 210 minus 180. That's good. The amount that you bet on the team that is likely to win because of the lower payout odds, 1.17, that's good. So this data here supports this argument. The worst case scenario is you will get back 13 out of your $20 into your real account. Now here's the rationale. If you're making smart, intelligent bets, the odds are that you should hopefully be winning, say, 7 out of 10, as an example. Well, if you make a no-lose bet and you lose, you're getting a chance to bet that money again, and which is a good thing. All things being equal, okay, you're going to lose some, but at least you're getting a chance to make an intelligent bet on the next one, and maybe you can recover the amount that you lost on this insurance-based bet.